I was doing so many things. We were doing chiropractic, we were doing spinal decompression, we were doing aesthetics. I had an aesthetic laser. We were doing PEMF therapy. I was doing hormone replacement, vitamin IVs. I mean, on top of the regenerative medicine stuff. So, as you guys say in your course, I was basically crop dusting. I was doing a lot of different things and I was really busy. But at the end of the day, I was just spinning my wheels. I was busy, but the financial success didn't match the hours I was putting into it.
Welcome to the Super Clinic Project Podcast, where we take regular clinic owners and turn them into cash-based multimillionaire entrepreneurs. Warning, if you're a doctor who listens to this podcast regularly, you will make millions of dollars. Do not listen to this podcast unless you want to be a successful clinic owner who helps thousands of patients achieve their health goals and adds more money than you can imagine to your bank account. You've been warned.
Welcome to the Super Clinic Project Podcast, where we take regular clinic owners and we turn them into super clinic owners. I'm your host, Jennifer Gligoric, and today we have a clinic spotlight. Our guest is a doctor, stem cell pioneer who's worked with NFL athletes. He's an Air Force veteran, a national bench press champion, competitive bodybuilder, and regenerative medicine specialist with over 2 decades worth of experience. He's also the author of the book, End Your Pain Nightmare Now. So let us welcome to the show the wonderful Dr. Walter Bennett. Thanks for being on the show, Walter.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you here today to talk about everything that you do, because what I think what you do is quite interesting. So in full transparency, I have worked with Dr. Bennett in the past to help him grow, and he just does really amazing things. And when we first started out, he did a lot of stuff, and now he's really honed in to things. So I think he's going to be very interesting for you docs to listen to on how to not. What did you say before? You don't have to be everything for everyone, right?
Correct. You don't have to be everything.
That's right. So let us talk about this. So tell everybody a little bit about your journey and then how you came to be where you're at right now, and describe that.
Okay. Well, I started off in healthcare in the military. In the Air Force, I was a medical technologist. So that means I ran laboratory tests. I worked mostly in hospitals and clinics and that sort of thing. After I got out of the military, I went to chiropractic school. I practiced chiropractic for 7 years, and then I went back to school and became a nurse practitioner. Then I kind of stumbled into regenerative medicine, and it really merged the two fields together for me. And looking back, I couldn't imagine doing anything else than what I do now.
Yeah. And so what you do is pretty fascinating. So you started out doing a lot of chiropractic. You had a full chiropractic caseload, and you went into private practice. And I think I had asked you, had you always wanted to go into private practice? Do you remember what you said about that?
I know people that have gone into group practices, and the partnerships, from what I've seen, a lot of times the partnerships just don't seem to work out. So I decided I really didn't want to go that route, because I like to do things the way I want to do them. And instead of going through a group and trying to get permission to do things the way you want to do them and writing standard operating procedures everybody has to follow, I just thought it'd be easier to go it on my own.
Yeah. And was it always easier? I mean, because we're talking about entrepreneurship.
Yeah, it's never easy. What's the old saying? You can work for somebody else for 40 hours a week, or work for yourself for 100 hours a week.
Yeah. That's really what it is. And you found yourself doing that, right? Working a lot of hours. And tell me about the makeup of your practice when, because you did everything. You did chiropractic, and then you also did stem cells, and now you've kind of changed that up a bit.
I was doing so many things. We were doing chiropractic. We were doing spinal decompression. We were doing aesthetics. I had an aesthetic laser. we're doing PEMF therapy. I was doing hormone replacement, vitamin IVs. I mean, on top of the regenerative medicine stuff. So, as you guys say in your course, I was basically crop dusting. I was doing a lot of different things and I was really busy. But at the end of the day, I was just spinning my wheels. I was busy, but the financial success didn't match the hours I was putting into it.
Yeah, so you were just exhausted. It must be, I was, you know, talking about this one trip that I made once where a guy, he had like, it was like an ice cream place, but inside of it, it also was like a travel agency, like the post office was there and like another business, like, you know, buy some tchotchkes. And one guy ran it all. So the one guy literally put on his app, oh, you want to go on vacation? Oh, you need your mail? You know, oh, you want some ice cream? It was crazy. And then I liken that to the people who do that. They're just exhausted on this hamster wheel. And then you look across the street to someone who's really decided, what is my purpose on this planet? What do I really want to do? Where do I feel I can make the biggest impact? And then you see someone with like a lash bar. That may not be the impact you want to make for the world, but let's say for that one lash bar owner, it is. All they do is put lashes on women's eyelashes. Well, I guess women and men, their eyelashes. And they have they have financial freedom, they're happy, and they're very busy. So tell me a little bit about how you went from the guy doing everything, aesthetics, hormone replacement therapy, chiropractic, decompression, a little bit of stem cells, and what you're doing now and how that's transformed for you.
Now I pretty much only do regenerative medicine. All the chiropractic stuff I sent out to area chiropractors. And what happened when I did that will blow your mind.
So, I want to hear this.
All right. So instead of me doing all the adjusting, I took all my chiropractic patients and I sent them to other chiropractors. I agonized over this decision for a long time because people kept wanting me to do it. So I just thought I had to do it. But I sent these patients to other chiropractors. And then all of a sudden, all these chiropractors started referring stem cell cases to me. I'd never gotten referrals. And now all these chiropractors are sending me stem cell cases, and extremely reliable. I mean, they were coming in like clockwork, and that was I'd really expect to happen. So instead of what I pictured in my mind, my business going down, it actually went up. It went up a lot just by making that little change. So that's what I was saying. You can't be everything to everyone. And it's better to be the specialist in one thing. Pick your thing and just be the best at it. And that's kind of what I decided to do. And I haven't looked back.
And that's great. And I've seen those testimonials that you brought in. They're really incredible. You know, how much impact because not only were you helping patients who needed to go to Cairo, but also too, that really freed up your schedule to get the patients who really need what you really want to do, which was the regenerative medicine, be able to open up space so that they could come to you and they didn't hear, oh, well, we're booked up for 2 months.
Right.
Yeah. Cause I know that capacity is always an issue too, because you live in a pretty smaller town area, right?
Yes. I'm in rural Tennessee. So that's why, I'm there 3 days a week, and then I travel the other 2 days. So I farm myself out to some other clinics as well, and we're doing the same thing. So it's freed me up to do what I actually want to do.
That's good. So talk a little bit about the stem cells and what you're working on right now in regenerative medicine. To me, I still was thinking that this was like highly innovative. And I remember, and you had said, no, really, there's so much proven science. You haven't had a problem doing this, but you're getting really incredible results. So tell me a little bit about what you're doing, because you don't just do PRP, you also do bone marrow too, right?
Yes, we do. We do PRP, we do bone marrow stem cells, and we do adipose derived.
Oh, okay. So describe those three. What's the difference between them?
Okay. So PRP is platelet-rich plasma. So you're going to draw peripheral blood. You have red cells, white cells, and platelets in the blood. You're going to get rid of the red cells and the white cells, and you're just going to use the platelets. You're going to take the platelets and basically put those into the joint. And how I explain it to people is the platelets are going to regenerate really fast for about 2 weeks. And then they kind of start slowing down. where the stem cells go months, even up to a year. So you get a lot more bang for your buck with stem cell. So as far as adipose or bone marrow, I've looked at so many studies and I haven't seen anywhere where one's superior to the other. So it's really up to the patient what they want. And, and you kind of have to look at the patient as well too. So if somebody's very lean and they don't have a lot of adipose tissue, the bone marrow is probably going to be a better choice. Somebody that has a lot of adipose probably be a little better choice.
And so for adipose, is that just like liposuction? Is that how you get it? Or?
Essentially, it's essentially a manual liposuction where you just get a tube of fat and you're going to either spin it down and take the cells off that way, or you're going to micronize it using a series of filters to make it really small. So you want to change that fat from macrofat down to microfat to millifat to nanofat. The nanofat's where we want to be, and that's what you're going to inject into the joints. Like I said, or you can spin it down and take the stem cells off that way. So, I mean, there's a lot of different ways to skin the cat, so to say.
And is there a difference in a pain factor or recovery factor with those?
I would say the fat, when you use the adipose, it's a lot less invasive on the patient because it's a little incision as opposed to with the bone marrow, you actually have to go into the bone to get the marrow out. So it's a little more recovery time, and it's a little more, you don't necessarily feel it while it's going on, but you're sore afterwards.
And how long does the soreness usually last?
For bone marrow, a couple weeks. For the fat, maybe a couple days.
Oh, wow, that is a big difference.
It's more like you exercise too much. It's not really, really sore. It's mild soreness.
Mm. And so what have you been able to treat with this, and why are you so passionate about it?
Well, they're doing all kinds of stuff with it now, but for my purpose, what I'm comfortable doing, I like to use it for orthopedic purposes. I do it for knees, hips, and shoulders. Those are the three I like to treat. But when you go into different specialists, there's all kinds of stuff they're doing it on. But for me, I like those three.
And what would be what would be your best case? Like for a refer, if someone were to refer to you, or if we have someone listening and they're like, this might be good. This might be good for my patient XYZ. What would that patient look like? What would be a good person to refer for that?
The typical patient walks into my office, 70 years old. They have a hard time navigating stairs. Walking down a hill is excruciating. They can't stand on their feet very long. They've usually been told it's bone on bone. And they've been like this usually over a year. That's the typical patient I see.
Okay, that makes sense. So now, because you don't just do this at your one clinic anymore, you've been able to really expand, and now you work in other clinics too. And you said that you had ability to go into other clinics to do this as well, right?
Yes. I'm in my main clinic 3 days a week. So we've set it up where I'm there 3 days a week, and then I have 2 days a week of travel. So I farm myself out to other clinics as needed.
So how much capacity do you have to do this with other clinics, do you think?
It depends on the clinic, but I could probably take 2 more clinics.
That would be exciting.
Yeah.
Because you like traveling. Some people hate to travel, but that's fun for you, right?
No, yeah, I don't mind traveling. I don't mind traveling at all. My kids are grown, so it's not like I have little kids at home.
Yeah, that you have to be there for all their little events and everything like that.
Yeah.
So far with the staff, now you've made some big changes with your staff. So let's put on your boss hat now. What was the biggest challenges with changing from the way you did it before to the aha moment that you had, where, hey, I'm just working so hard, and everybody else was working so hard too, but there's not a lot to show for it, to where you're at right now? How were you able to navigate that with them? Because a lot of times, changes like this, and this has been a big change, are not so easy for the staff.
Oh, my staff has loved it.
Really?
Oh yeah,
You're
before
lucky.
they were scheduling all these different things. Now they're scheduling just a couple different things. They're all regenerative medicine stuff. So basically, they're either scheduling procedures for me or they're scheduling new patients for me. So it's much more streamlined. They love it.
Do you feel that this has helped them? What other changes besides making it easier for them has it been good for them? Have they seen like the has there been any bonus for them on income things, to make them go, oh, this is good, because usually we're going to stop doing something makes people scared, you know?
Yes, I bonus the staff, so um, it's more streamlined. We're actually making more money in the clinic now, so their bonuses have gone up. So staff loves it.
And do you mind saying how you bonus the staff? I get asked this all the time from other doctors, like, well, how do you know how to do that? Or what type of plans are people using? Do you feel comfortable talking a little bit about that?
Yeah, I just take the gross collections and I do 1% of gross collections, and that's bonus.
So that's exciting because the clinic does better, then everybody does better.
Yes,
So y'all have had a couple of very good months then where they've been very excited, huh?
yes.
Good, good. Well, that helps. Do you feel like being able to be tied to the bottom line like that has helped them be more on board with making the changes they need to make on the back end?
Yes, it gives them an ownership in it because it's no longer me, it's we.
Yeah.
So they feel a part of it and they feel they have an ownership now.
That's good. We often talk about that and the patient journey and having staff taking ownership in that patient journey, where they plug in so that even though they only, might liaise with the patient, or maybe it's in the back end, they're not even talking to the patient, but what they're doing is so important, whether it's billing or coding and getting that process, whatever it is, right. Do you feel that that's helped them take more ownership on that end? Do you feel like, because they're still working, and you said when we had talked earlier that you're gone 2 days of the week, but you said, I think the staff even gets more done when I'm gone. And
Right.
I thought that's so important because with so many clinics, they're like, God, if I'm not there, nobody will do anything. That's a thought.
Yeah. Well, it's amazing what happens when people have an incentive to get things done.
But
You know,
also too, leadership. I mean, what have you been able to put in place from the leadership standpoint you think that has helped you, where you're like, I go and I know even more is probably going to get done, where you have that sort of confidence, which is so important.
I'm very, I'm a very regimented person. I have been since even probably before the military. I've just been, I schedule my workouts, I schedule my meals, I schedule, patients, I schedule when I'm leaving, all my travel dates, and I do kind of the same for them. As in, when I'm gone, I want this, 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 and this done. Here's your list. This is what I want done while I'm gone, and it's always done when I get back.
That's
So
good.
yeah, so for me, it's not, you're here from here to here. I don't really care when they're here. As long as what I want gets done, gets done.
That's good. We have a saying here, behind the Super Clinic project, but it's that fire yourself, be an owner. And you can only have that mindset, the people that you hire, that they have that mindset when they get to have that sort of feeling of taking ownership with something, and getting excited about it and feeling like they're a part of the solution, not just to fix something. So I find that good. What else is on the plate for you guys coming up? Do y'all have any good, because I know that we have different marketing campaigns that come up. We reach out to old patients, old clients, sometimes old leads, sometimes we do referral campaigns. Anything like that fun coming up in this new fall quarter?
I'm going to do a referral campaign, if not at the end of this month, beginning of October. So, because I want it done before Christmas. I want it to have run its course before Christmas. So we'll probably at the beginning of October.
Okay, well, that's really good. I highly encourage anybody to keep those those marketing campaigns, quarterly, to have them set out and to really listen to what Walter said about being regimented. And I hope that you caught that he communicates this very clearly, succinctly with the staff on what needs to be done. When there's those clear communications, and I want this done, and there's a time frame he wants it done, and when this needs to accomplish, then things get done. I'm sure that part of that is if you have a question on anything, you tell them where they're supposed to go to get that question answered, correct?
Yes.
So they have everything they need, and then he lets them do it. I think there would be a lot of places that if we got more regimented, then it would happen. Can you give any tips that aren't used to being able to utilize their calendar so fully like that, and to have that sort of communication on how they can start?
The most important thing to do at the beginning is make lists for yourself. If you don't make a list, you won't do it. But once you write it down and commit to doing it, even if you don't get it done that day, if it's on your list, put it on tomorrow's list. Just keep writing that down. You'll eventually get it done. So I think that is important.
Yeah, I highly agree with that, 100%. Well, guys, we've been talking with Dr. Walter Bennett. Dr. Walter, will you let people know how they can reach out to you?
Yes, you can reach me through email, drwalterbennett@gmail.com.
So you got it. We're also going to put his links, his information, and how to find him on our show notes. I want to thank you again for being here today, Dr. Bennett. This has been great. Now, remember, what did you tell everybody?
You can't be everything to everybody.
Remember that. That's a really important. You can't be everything to everybody. So guys, you all go have a great Super Clinic week. Be sure to like, follow, share, and give us a 5-star review. It's how we get amazing doctors like Dr. Bennett here on the show today. Everybody have a great week. And thanks again, Walter, for being here today.
Oh, thank you.
You've been listening to the Super Clinic Project podcast. If you like what you hear, subscribe and stay tuned for further episodes of the Super Clinic Project podcast.